Hello, I'm the Badger Reborn, and I hope you're having a great week. And no, I don't say that to everyone who watches this video. I'm going to go through the 4 biggest reasons why I love the Wheel of Time. Keep in mind these are just my personal reasons, so yours might be totally different. For readers who are new to the series, this video contains vague spoilers about several characters early on, and then I briefly mention some specific spoilers on point number 3, so you might want to tune those parts out. I'll put up a spoiler warning graphic during those sections. If you're new to my channel or have watched a few videos without subscribing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep following my channel for more Wheel of Time videos. And then give this video a like so that I can get rich and famous. So let's jump right into it. Reason number 1, the complex, flawed, and dynamic characters. The first example of this for me is always going to be Matt Cawthon, who's probably the most fun character I've ever read or seen in any medium. By the way, it's spelled M-A-T, not M-A-T-T. It's true that he may not be the deepest character of the bunch, but he's more complex than he's often given credit for. The combination of his playful and somewhat airheaded personality, original powers, and a great plot make Matt a truly unique character. The next example is Rand al'Thor, a hero who seems to fail as much as he succeeds. During the story, Rand travels a true hero's journey, complete with a crisis of faith and a near turn to the dark side. He makes bad decisions and he has some very clear character flaws. He is subjected to the same destructive influences that others are saddled with, such as the taint on the One Power, and we see him crumble and nearly collapse under the pressure. It's always been clear to me that despite his awesome powers and strength of will, if it weren't for the strength and support of those people close to him, Rand would not have made it to the end, and that makes this pretty special main character, and a pretty unusual main character. The next example of this is Nynaeve Almira, my favorite female character of the series. She's the definition of a layered character, so much so that people often miss some of the layers. From the beginning of the story, and even before the story begins, Nynaeve struggles with an immense amount of self-doubt, something I think we can all relate to at times, including myself. This is compounded when she leaves the Two Rivers, and both Moraine and the circumstances introduce a total loss of control over the events of her life, and the lives of those around her. Despite these challenges, Nynaeve stands strong and always works towards her goal of protecting the people she loves. Besides these main type of characters, there are so many great world-building characters, for example Tuon, Aviendha, and Bail Domon. They all add so much complexity, have their own backstories, and are crucial to the plot in their own ways. Something that Robert Jordan does really well is writing amazing characters who aren't liked by the reader, but are still important. Tuon in particular is at once fascinating, detestable, hilarious, a total hypocrite, and a possible hero that we really hate. Of course, I can't mention every character, because there are way too many of them, but I don't think there's a single poorly written character in the Wheel of Time. Even as I said, the characters who are detestable and awful, even the good guy characters who everyone hates, it's really kind of a love-hate relationship in my opinion. They're not hated because they're terribly written. They're hated because they're written to be hated. They're written to be frustrating characters whose arcs don't fully complete like you would hope they would. But that's what makes them great. Even those uncompleted arcs make sense because, to me, in my opinion anyway, in the real world, there are a lot of people that have uncompleted arcs to their life or their kind of life story. There are so many stellar characters in the Wheel of Time, and they all contribute to the world feeling real, which leads to the second point. A rich, expansive world that feels real. The Wheel of Time has a diversity of cultures with many unique features. There are 20 nations, with similarities and also with distinct differences between them. There are many it's hard to say. There are many real-world cultures represented, but no culture is a direct adaptation of a real-world people. I think a great way to show this is just reading a couple of quotes from Robert Jordan when he's talking about how he created the Wheel of Time cultures that really illustrate this point. In the first, Robert Jordan was asked how he creates cultures, and he said, well, to give you an example of the way these things work, the Aiel. They have some bits of Japanese in them, also some bits of the Zulu, the Berbers, the Bedouin, the Northern Cheyenne, the Apache, and some things I added in myself. They are in no way a copy of any of these cultures. To me, that itself is a fascinating thing, the design of a culture. So that's how the Aiel came about. There are no cultures that are a simple lift of Renaissance Italy or 9th century Persia or anything else. All of them are constructs. The fact that Robert Jordan spent so much time making these different nations and cultures and people feel so real and so authentic, have so much backstory and individualism, is what makes the world feel so real and you can get so immersed in it, as Robert Jordan intended with the turning of the wheel. Then another quote, along a similar line, I felt that because America was a melting pot, I had at least some right to mine the mythologies of any nation that is represented in the US, and also religion. So there are elements that come out of religious books, and mythologies as well. not done in a mythological way. I try to present these things so that you feel you are in a place that is real and that this could actually happen. By the way, if you've listened to the amazing audiobooks read by Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, you might recognize this quote. This time and dedication that Robert Jordan put into making so many cultures feel so real and so unique is a huge factor of why I love the Wheel of Time. And I think it's a big factor for why a lot of other people love it as well. I can't wait to see all these people on the show, all these characters that we love, all these nations, the different clothing they wear, how they look, how they interact with each other and the main characters. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to see it on screen. One of the things that really pops in the audiobooks and in the text are the battles and fights, which leads into the third point. Incredible action. The action, the fight scenes, the battles feel fresh every single time because each battle is unique. This is rather remarkable in a 14-book series because no battle ever feels like a copy of one another. There's nothing serialized about the fights, whether big or small, except maybe Rand fighting a confusing sky battle in the first books. Come on, Rafe, improve on that, please. But every battle in particular feels completely fresh, with different terrain, point of view types, and soldier classes in the battle, along with unexpected twists that change everything, such as the one power going crazy in the mountains, causing Rand to slaughter many of his own troops, even as he drives the Shan-Shan back, or Lews Therin taking control at Lord Algaron's manor, and busting out an array of deadly new weaves, and then almost dragon mounting the whole army afterwards. I've tried to make a top 10 battles list, but I can't eliminate anything. They're all so good. Along with those bigger battles, the smaller fights, the individual fights, are also incredibly unique and get you so engaged. The Mat versus Galad and Gawain fight, how much do you all love that one? It's fantastic. And then there's, of course, multiple times of Mat versus the Golem. How good are those? Rand has so many individual battles, and they all feel so unique and are so well written. And of course, we couldn't talk about individual fights without the different Demon Dread battles at the end, and how good those are. I didn't come here to win, I came here to kill you. Up next, though, is the final component of why I love the Wheel of Time. The fans. The Wheel of Time community. You guys. The Wheel of Time community is such a great place. I don't need to tell you that, because you're probably part of it. But for those of you who are new, welcome to the best fandom in the world. Is every Wheel of Time fan a great person? No. Just like with any community, this has its problems. But I think the overall tone is what sets the WoT fandom apart. Personally, I didn't even know that there was a WoT fandom for a long time. One of my best friends introduced me to the Eye of the World in middle school, and I've been hooked on the Wheel of Time ever since. But there weren't really any other Wheel of Time fans that I knew. I didn't use the internet to look up a fandom, so I was missing a lot of what was happening. More recently, I found and got engaged with these communities online, which has been a really great experience. It inspired me to start my own channel sharing ideas about the Wheel of Time, despite having no filming or editing experience, and being very nervous about doing this. The support has been amazing. I still don't think I've met any Wheel of Time fans in person, except for that original friend. Hi, Trey. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people at some point, but not much. So being able to connect online is great. The level of discussion is unbelievable, as is the support for each other. It's hard for me to go too deeply into this point without getting cheesy, but it's amazing for new readers, it's amazingly supportive of each other, and it's amazingly inclusive. Once the show gets going, which I can't wait for, by the way, I really think this fandom is going to show off to other fandoms how you should react to that kind of thing. It's definitely okay to be critical, and I sure will be of some parts of the show, but supporting it, supporting the people involved with making it, whether it's the actors or the directors or producers or whoever, and getting new watchers involved while not being overly critical and tearing things down, and certainly being inclusive of those new fans in the community. I think the Wheel of Time fandom is really going to do a great job of that. So if you're a fan of my channel and would like to support me as I keep making Wheel of Time videos, please consider contributing as a patron. My current patrons have been amazing in helping me in my ability to keep making videos, which I'd love to continue doing. You can click the link in the video description to join, and to learn about the perks that come with joining the Patreon. That wraps up the list of the top reasons I love the Wheel of Time, so leave a comment below as to why you love Wheel of Time. I want to know what makes other people keep coming back to these amazing books, and I'll read some of those comments in a future video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other people. If you've stuck around this long, thanks, I appreciate it. And there's a bonus reason that I love the Wheel of Time. It's super impactful quotes. I'm currently running a Wheel of Time quote tournament on Twitter. At the time of filming this, the Sweet 16 just wrapped up, and we're moving into the Elite 8, the top 8 Wheel of Time quotes, which, by the way, the Sweet 16 matchups were really tough. I can't imagine how difficult it's going to be for people to pick between those best 8 quotes in the series, but I can't wait for it. It's a lot of fun. You can click the link below as well for my Twitter page to get involved and vote on each of those matchups. I started with 50 amazing quotes, and we're now down to those 8, so every vote counts. Make sure you check it out and vote for your favorite, and then share there why that one is your favorite as well. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. I hope you guys stay safe, continue to support each other, and I'll see you next time. By the way, what do you think about the shirt? Like it? Pretty good? I love it. Hello. Oh gosh, okay. There are many real world, that's hard to say. There are many real world cultures